Hello everybody, this is Jesse with Fixing It Blind. Today we're going to be learning something new. We're going to be doing replacing this outlet with one of these guys. Basically, the only difference is this has two USB ports. You know, nice to have in the garage, be able to charge your stuff while you're listening to music or whatever you're doing. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First we're going to do is we're going to take off this plate. I had already shut off the electricity here, and I'll show you that in a minute here. How we can actually check just to make sure, because you never know. This is a garage. Someone could have wired it wrong. So we got this tester here, and it's real simple. This will beep if it's got any kind of electricity. So you put it near the wires, and it's got to be on the hot side. The neutral or the ground will not set it off. So now we got that cover off. We'll toss that away. We're going to go ahead and pull the outlet out. You know, now given the situation in the United States right now, especially in Minneapolis here, I don't live in Minneapolis, but I do live in Minnesota. And we got a lot of crazy stuff going on right now with these riots. I figure maybe we can, instead of doing something like that, we'll learn something new today. All right, so now we got to pull this out and take a look and see here. Looks like these wires are just pushed in the back, so we're just going to go ahead and cut them off. And we've got two sets of wires coming in. Now, sometimes you can set these up so that they're a separate circuit. So, like the top outlet is on one circuit and the bottom's on another, and that works great if you're in like an area where you heavily use it. But this outlet here, this just runs literally my stereo equipment, so it's not too bad. And how you can tell if it's going to be two separate circuits is right here. You will see this little tab, and that tab will be broken on either side if it is two separate circuits. But that's not the case here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and snip off the wires. Bend those out of the way. Snip this off. And then we're going to unscrew the ground. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to strip those new wires, those wires that are there. As you can see, this new outlet is different. You know, it's got the USBs in the middle. The spacing is a little different. And then instead of having wire holes on the back, on the top and bottom, these ones are all just on the bottom. But because I do a lot of metal work in here, I will actually be installing this upside down in case a wire is pulled out of the plug a little bit. And metal falls and comes in contact with it, it'll sit on the ground strap instead of arcing out in here. Just a little bit less of a fire hazard. It's why, like hospitals and commercial buildings, you see their outlets are all installed upside down. Alrighty, right on here it says hot, and it says white. Okay, so the hot wire is always the darker colored wire. Okay, that's the one that actually carries the voltage. The voltage returns through the white wire, and right there you can see it says hot over here, white over here. Another way to look at it is the shorter of the two prongs is the hot, the wider one is the neutral, and then this one here is always ground. So we want ground facing up. So we are going to go ahead and place our white wires in here. Let's see. All right, so I had to loosen up these screws because those screws are actually what are clamping it up, down. Normally they're under spring tension when you push them in the back, but that's not how this one's set up. And then this one here, the ground goes right on the top. Or if you're installing this inside your house, it'll most likely be the bottom. But like I said, I do a lot of work out of this garage, and I just would prefer to not have, you know, that little bit of extra chance to not have a fire. So we just push her back in the box. Now, it's always going to be hard to fit these ones back in the box because they're so much bigger than the original that we were replacing. So we'll just get her started here. And get the bottom one going. And it is very important that you don't mess up the hot and the neutral. They got to be on the right sides. Otherwise, it can cause, you know, short circuits. It can cause fire hazards, and also it can cause, you know, electrocution. So you want to make sure you're doing it right. All right, now these walls don't have sheetrock around them. Otherwise, I would leave these two screws slightly loose. So that it made it, you know, it would pull the outlet out and make it look nice. But this one's just a bare box on a stud. You can see I got foam insulation behind it, and around it, but that doesn't come out to the full width of the 2x4s. All right, now we just need to put this cover on. Now you can see this cover has got two holes. So the ones that have the rectangular holes in them, we usually screw on to there. The old one had just one in the middle. But now the one in the middle space is occupied by, you know, by the outlets. All right, just picked up that screw that I dropped. Now let's see if I can do this without dropping the screw. Oh, guess not. So just put them both in there. All right, now all that's left is to go ahead and turn on the power and make sure it works.